good, thinking good thoughts, having a good time, sharing good energy with good people in good places, doing good things. Let me make sure my live is actually up. There we go. So it looks like they sent in some people, collective. They sent in their people. They sent in their people towards you. There were a couple different things that came up. So, the goal now, of course, or so they think, is to like end you, right? It's like, oh, if we can get somebody to take them out. But I'm not sure if they're paying attention to the track record here, because it's kind of like, well, how long have you been at this? Let's just sit for a second and figure how they figure something that's never happened is all of a sudden gonna happen. And my only thought process went back, like, let's just use me for instance. So I'm 45 years old. If my family has been against me my whole entire life, they could have just thrown me down a flight of stairs, right? Let's say they did that and that didn't work. Let's say they just continued to do things that didn't work. At some point between 0 and 45 years, they should probably learn to stop, right? But that's not these people. That's insanity. These people don't think logically. They want to see what will happen. And they're getting ready to see what will happen. And it's not going to be what they were doing. Like, clearly they see that. It's this whole energy of fortitude. You continuing to have this fortitude and know, your own energy. You don't let people rush you. You don't let people slow you down. You don't let people, give you a new idea. Like, there's nothing, that can stop your one-on-one, relationship with the divine, and your current, focus in life. And so what I got was one of the downloads. It's kind of something like, okay, if you lived in an apartment building or somewhere where you guys like townhomes where you have garages, they came around telling somebody, saying something about like, oh, we need to put on these new garage door openers, and you can put an app on your phone so that the garage will just open automatically. Doesn't sound like something I want on my garage, but that's their prerogative, right? Because they are the apartment building managers, right? So apparently there's something going on like that you were told, oh yeah, you need to have this on so that it can open from the app. That was actually so that they could have someone else access the app, open up your garage, and then they could come in and get you. Most of it is just this kind of like direct come toward the person. And then they have some type of like, oh, well, dress in all black. And then you'll be able to blend in because, the collective always wears black, or, they're going to an all black event, or, they have all these little details and they were hoping. And then their whole thing was, let's say it was a couple. Their plan was, okay, we're going to go out of town for our anniversary or something, or go over to another city for a friend's birthday party or something. And whatever setup, whatever mishap was supposed to happen with you in that time, that would be their alibi of how they would be out of it. But it didn't work. And I'm so curious myself. Like, I'm so curious if they're curious at all why this doesn't work. All right, tell us more. I get some people even saw you face to face and looked you right in the face, and they saw you and they were like, wow, they changed their mind. They changed their mind. They looked at you and like I didn't know, they're either starstruck or it's the whole people see you in themselves. They see your struggle. And even if they see that like, okay, this person got out of the struggle, they see like, wow, wait a minute. This person is kind of like a beacon of light. This person is someone that's actually supposed to be, available to help us, this is not it's just not giving what they were giving. I guess maybe they told this story about the collective was supposed to be so this or so that, and you turned out to be like a really, normal person, normal, nice person though, that they could relate to. And I think the whole thing is they're playing both sides right now. Ooh, yeah. So whomever coached them to do this shouldn't have. So what I'm understanding is that one of the people that was sent towards you to attack you or to stab you or to whatever it was, breaking your house and beat you, whatever it was that they were planning to do, they shouldn't have coached this person to do that because, hold on, let me get some more cards. Ooh. Oh, wow. That's exactly what I thought. Okay. Because now that these people know It's like because they couldn't coach them into doing this, they now can't stop these people. So if you know gangsters like I know gangsters, okay, people think gangsters are these heartless, cruel people who don't care about nothing but they gang, which is true, right? But they care about their gang. And these people sent someone towards in the gang towards the collective, knowing that it would get them in trouble. Because again, we've got this track record of however long. We just gonna say 45 years today, okay? And in that course of time, they should have known that they should have withdrawn from that. They should have, but essentially what's happened now is why they're haunted is because whomever it was that they sent in, what they realized is that you was playing both sides. I guess maybe that person was listening. These people was playing both sides. And that's what they realize right now. Is like, oh, they were playing both sides. They were trying to get us caught up to get themselves out of trouble. They weren't really trying to give us another, thing to say, oh, okay, I don't even know what they call it amongst gangs and groups. It's like, oh, we got you one next time or something. I don't know. Funny too, the energy that came up over the weekend was Eazy-E and how he was so cool and so like in with the brown people. And I always felt like, I don't know, I'm just one of those people who feels like there's no difference, right? It doesn't matter. If you're good, you're good. If you're bad, you're bad, right? So for them to send in people where it's like you're this Eazy-E energy where you for the people, you for the La Raza. Okay, you study things so that you can understand other people's plights and, not be ignorant, You may not run with gangs, you may not get tattoos, but you have the respect for who they are and they respect you in the same kind. And I think that's where people got the whole thing wrong, thinking that wouldn't be seen, that people wouldn't see that energy and withdraw from any type of like things that were, just not in the right. Even if they are a gangbanger that don't mind getting locked up and this and this and that, there's still a level of, wait a minute. If I see this person and I know this person to be an earth angel, or I know this person to be a chosen one, and this person is not a fake and phony, and I'm looking at them with my eyes, you are trying to, they basically felt like these people, whoever set them up to set you up, set them up to get them in more trouble because they know, listen, these gangsters, they got their own brujas, okay? They know better. And when they went and checked it out, because I'm understanding that this all took place last week or failed within the last, like between Thanksgiving and now, it was supposed to go down. But they know now. So now they got another problem. These people coming after you, they got a whole nother problem at this point. They got a whole nother problem at this point. They didn't even think this person would hesitate or would not get the job done. But once that's the thing. Like I said, once they found out the origin of who the collective really was, who they really sent them after, they're like, oh no, you can't coach me to do that. You can't coach me to do that. That's why that change come through. It was like they had to exercise their whole mind into a whole new way of thinking for a second. Because they was like, wait a minute. Wait, we were sent here to do this. But if we do this, what's going to happen to our people? That's what they thought. That's what they actually took the time to think about. And that's how the collective is receiving justice. See, they thinking. That's the thing. I'm not going to say it again. I'm 45 years old. Let's just say for argument's sake, this is me. This is my life, okay? So nobody feels any kind of way about me saying something about them. Do you not think that it's 45 years or somewhere along the lines that justice would be served? Have you not seen that that's actually been happening? And it's just really up to the collective how much of whatever it is that they want to have. The collective gets to decide how much money they want. The collective gets to decide who they want to marry. The collective, they've always have. They controlled other people to put them into your life, but they did not control you, because if they had the control over you, then what are they fighting? What have they been going against? What have they been trying to trap you into if they had you all this time? And how long are these people going to do this? That's the crazy part about it to me, is like, do they not stop to think whatsoever that maybe at some point, listen, who are these players? I want to know more about this. I want to know who, what, when, where, why, how. Looks like somebody's father might have something to do with this. Yeah, maybe somebody's father took a gamble. Okay, who is this that told these people to go towards the collective? Who is it that's an elder, someone who's now also probably someone who's homeless maybe or will be soon. And then there's this dancer energy. So whether this person is actually a stripper or just carries that energy, maybe even a fireman, an influencer. But they didn't know how stealth, the creator is. They did not know how stealth the creator is. It's almost like, okay, so for instance, like, it's like they send some cholos to you, right? For lack of other gangs to acknowledge at this moment. But let's say they send a bunch of cholos towards you, right? And it just so happened to be the day that you was wearing your brown chucks. And they looking at you like, wait a minute. Like, is this person thinking that, like, they were so confused at why they were even sent towards you? They're like, wait a minute. This person is like us, but they're not like us. Like, they're part of us that we would want to appreciate and acknowledge and accept. And why are we, like, they started to really question, like, whose decision was this? What is the objective here? Yeah, maybe that's what the whole community is starting to realize. Like, what is the objective here? And if these people say that we can do this, how come we haven't been able to? It's like they keep getting more people involved and more people to do stuff and more people to do stuff, but then what they're planning to do never takes off. I wonder why. I wonder if they're looking at all these like circumstances and things that you accept and tolerate and decided to go through with to learn your lesson and not just stay stagnant. If they're seeing those things as maybe, opportunities for them or conclusions to their spell work actually taking place. And because I think the only thing that we can have is like our own karma. I mean, that's what I'm starting to see right now. Is like people can't play a part in anything if you don't want them to. You can't get pregnant by some loser if you don't want to have sex with them, right? That's also part of what they're not getting too. It's like, how you gonna send somebody in to somebody who don't want nobody but their person, and they know who their person is. That was second funny. It's this ignorant, rash, impulsive behavior. It's this ignorant, rash, impulsive, and I can't believe that people are following this. People are actually following people who act like madmen. And I say madmen because how long have they been doing this to the collective? Where did they get so far? One of the other things too, they wanted somebody to go like on, so what they were planning to do was to get somebody jealous of them always going on yachts and boats and, going on boats. And so they were going to invite the collective to go on the boat. What they would do was get you drunk and then put those tabs on you, the tabs that they use for motion sickness. They were just going to load you up with those all over the place so you could OD. And they would just say, oh yeah, this person was partying and, so-and-so used one and so-and-so used another one. I think the stupid part is I don't think these people bought 2 packs of the stuff you use for motion sickness. They only bought 1 pack. And so it was going to be obviously that like they did that, right? They didn't bring a second pack to take maybe 3 out of and say, oh yeah, the collective took 1 and then Sally and Joe took the other 2, and they're not even thinking. Again, it's because it's so ignorant and rash that's why their plans don't go through either. It's kind of like one of those instances where if they were to come into like a courthouse and try to, shoot up the courthouse, they'd end up getting, oh gosh, it's just so sad. It's so sad that they continue. Tell us more. There's some kind of driver or something like that, somebody who's out, who's like, I'm not doing this no more. I don't know, maybe they lost their job. Maybe they know that you've already got to your safe passage and that you've been welcomed by whomever you needed to for whatever this next chapter is in your life. But I'm seeing that here. This person is like, nah, maybe even a bus driver too. So there's a bus driver and a truck driver maybe in the community, maybe with some community members that have been getting together and they're kind of guiding these community members out of this. So another part I'm thinking about of this too is like if these are family members. Let's get another deck. Because if these are family members, because I'm getting this energy of like, if ever anybody were to come to tell you, they would they would sacrifice that person. So like if there were other family members in the past, if you have a lot of the passed over loved ones and that's a thing in your family, a lot of those were setups and sacrifices. And it's probably best that you did keep your distance from these family members because ultimately that was the goal for you. But or maybe it's when you did distance yourself. Okay. So when you did distance yourself from these family members, when you realize like, okay, wait, the whole lot of them, the mama and the daddy side, they're just no go. When you did distance yourself from them, that's when they realized that they needed to go harder. And that's when your protection showed up. Showed up and showed up. About to show them what it's about. Kick them all in their mouth. Yeah, and they're kind of realizing that like, even if you are somewhat of an antisocial person, while that may have left you like in the silent treatment energy and left out from them, that's the thing. People who sit silently watch. The quiet ones are the ones that are watching. And if they're not a sneaky quiet one, then they're a speculating quiet one. Like, I'm just being honest. I mean, maybe even secretive to their own extent. Like once they get an acknowledgement of like who everybody is, they play the game better than anybody because they've been watching everybody at their shit. You see what I'm saying? So if you sit back and you watch A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, you know all of their tactics. You know how they get down. You know when they happy. You know when they mad. You know when they excited. You know when they this. You know when they that. And they maybe thought this whole quiet, silent treatment, just sitting there watching, observing, listening to what was going on, maybe they felt like you were stupid. They didn't understand what the distance was for. The distance was so that you didn't get yourself into like being like them. Which again, these people already knew that. So it's like, it's almost like they were expecting things from you that would never happen too. Well, obviously. That's the name of their whole game, ain't it? Let's get the collective to go over here and do this. And it's like, okay. And then they mistook the parts of where you were acting out of your own like goodness, good nature in your heart. They took that as to be you being stupid. Like we've heard about that for so long, right? People say, oh yeah, they use my kindness for weakness. Okay. So when you're going to start realizing who to give your kindness to and who not. And that's the thing. The collective has been in the process of realizing, oh, okay. And taking ownership for like, oh, okay, I'm the one who slept with the dummy. That's why I had the dummy issue. Because after I stopped sleeping with the dummy was still stupid. I didn't make him smart or her smart, right? It's like the whole reason that you left these people were because it wasn't a mesh, right? It wasn't what it was supposed to be, right? It wasn't working out. But there's a difference between keeping your distance and staying separated, so much so that they could never get the inside scoop. It's almost like they want to know. They want to know everything. Let's see, what is it? What they trying to do now to get in the know? Since they can't end you. They want to know what your steps are so they can try to trip you up. Which again, how long have they been trying to do this? The whole reason that they're mad is because you reached the level that you're at and they can no longer contain you. They can no longer control you. If you hadn't reached the level that you were at right now, they would not be hooked on you. That's the thing too. That's the other thing is that whoever they're sending in to spy on you to look and see, like they're coming up with no facts. It's like, yeah, we're not seeing this in this person's life. We're not seeing that they're doing that. We're not seeing, it's like, yeah, it's the same stuff. Like the collective is still chilling. And so that's why they feel like they're doing the same, but different days. And they're like, the collective's not hooked on anything or anyone. That's their true reality. It's like, even if the collective got a new person and that person came in and did the collective wrong, the collective would accept whatever it is that went wrong and move on about their life. They understand that, hey, if there's one of me, there's got to be another, right? Because if there wasn't another one, we know, if there wasn't another person similar, having the same experience, etc., then they should have been able to get you by now, right? I mean, you were isolated for so long. What happened there? Let's look at the cards and see what happened there. Because you've been isolated. Let's see what went wrong in the isolation period. So tell us, what went wrong in this isolation period? What went wrong when they isolated the collective? The fact of the matter is that because they were still crying over you. It's like, how are you going to isolate somebody that you want? That's where they went wrong. It's like, oh, let's isolate them, but then they're sad and hurt, upset because they already knew that like they were on this mission of stupidity that like was just a total fake. It's almost kind of like, I don't know. You ever like get some ice cream and then you open it and it's when you open it you realize that it had been melted and refrozen again? That's the energy they're in. Don't nobody want no refrozen ice cream. Hello. You can't get me to have that. That's not how it's supposed to be. Also, what they realized while they were crying over you, you were minding your business, putting a little ballies on your face. Putting a little ballies on your face and stuff. Probably telling other people, shh, I'm working. All you doing is putting fuzzy balls on your face. Yes, but they look good. I get this energy of like, they have no clue. And all they know is that you're moving on and that you're having everything. You're going to have a home, you're going to have a car, you're going to have this, you're going to have that, you're going to have this. Not like you never had it before, but it's like the fact of the matter is like what you had, they already wanted that. So they know that whatever you're getting next, you're not going to go back and be like, oh yeah, I want that Dodge Journey again because that car was so good to me. And it had the third row seat for when I had all these extra kids in my car and I had to go work on weekends. No, you don't want the Dodge Journey. That's the other part that they don't understand about you leaving your past life behind, and they're chasing the tail of something that does not exist, of a person that doesn't even walk the planet anymore. It's just so crazy. So that's what happened when you were isolated. They was really crying over you and upset. That don't make sense. Tell me how that makes sense. How you isolate somebody and then cry about them being in isolation from you? Real weirdo behavior here. I'm just saying. Real weirdo behavior. These people haven't learned how to let go of anything in life. So they sat around probably cyberbullying you and crying over you while they isolated you. Okay. So then that didn't work. You didn't budge. Clearly, because you over here being quiet. So then what did they decide to do? So after that didn't work, after isolation didn't work, they went along crying still. And then what did they do? Ooh. Okay. So then they were made aware that these... So then they were made aware how the shit that they was doing got them caught up. Okay? How the fuck shit had really got them in some fuck shit. Okay? Because they basically were like, okay, well, all of this threatening this person and intimidating them and bothering this person is actually going to get you guys in some legal troubles because we've got some people that have been here and they've been asking us about this, this, and this, and this, right? Probably that public defender energy. Again, this is when they started watching the other people. But they figured that they had gave him whatever story. Oh, that's right. Here it is. They had told him that you was a spiritual hater. That you was, Collective. That was you. Out there trying to overpower them in their group and get in the way of what they were building. Oh, isn't that fancy? Isn't that fancy? So that's how they were able to get out of this legal trouble previously. They were basically saying you were doing stuff to them. You were the one who were hating on the fact that they had reached whatever level, which you never knew about because you're not watching them. I get an energy of like, we're going to use me again as an example. Me again. Me. Okay. So if I like somebody and I find out that they have someone, I unlike them. It's that simple. If I meet a guy and we're dating and I find out he's got some, I've been through the narcissistic cycles. Oh, that was also another part of it. So they thought that they had you, right? Because in 2019, at the end of 2019, that's when the isolation and kind of like pushing you out of the groups probably started. Right before the pandemic, people's energy started changing up. Sit and think about it if you don't believe me. But that's when people's energy started switching up. It was right before the pandemic started. Then the pandemic comes into play. So they're figuring, oh, okay, well, This is going to be easy because now everybody's isolated. Mind you, this is the government trying to put in effect things that they know that nature will do on its own because of this divide. And the government wants to remain in control. That's why there's this fog. But what they're not realizing is they're repeating history. Because if you look up the England fog and like how they created that disaster for themselves, as well as the, what is it called? Bubonic plague. Man, I've been researching that. That one's a cold piece right there because there was a war and they're fighting this war and they threw these dead bodies over to try and like get the stench out of their space, but put it into the other people's space that they were fighting the war against, thinking that that would get them to run off. But really what happened was these rats developed, it came into the wherever these dead bodies were. And on the rats, there were these fleas. And the fleas are actually what took the bubonic plague and spread it. Wild, right? And that's how it was able to get back over the enemy gates of where they threw the dead bodies from in the first place. So again, similar story here. We're going to throw the bodies over and they'll be so overwhelmed by the stench and the stank and they'll just they'll retreat. They will go back into their corners. And it's like, oh, okay. So they didn't. They did start to see stuff happen amongst them, but it also went right over to the other people that threw the bodies over there in the first place that were thinking that was the win. So in that option, they also maybe told them that you were this obsessive lover too. This is so funny. So that was what helped enable them to try to subdue these legal issues that they were happening. So after the isolation, they kind of started getting themselves caught up a little. And then in 2019, sorry, I'm skipping back and forth. Yeah, because they thought that you had some bad habits that they were going to. Okay, so 2019, when all this started. 2020 pandemic, you probably had a lot of other things going on. You were probably one of those people that actually did amazing during the pandemic years. Like you were just really thriving, right? Because that's what happens during these times is certain people are built to last and certain people are. And essentially that's what you started to show, right? Because the pandemic was a failed attempt at like this mass whatever, but that's just my theory. We'll talk about that later. But you did really well. And that's when they knew they had to do something else. So that's when they started their stuff up again. Okay, so they isolated you. So from 2020 on, they started their period of isolating you, trying to attack your growth and your business. And then what did they enlist? Ooh. So then they maybe even had some people come around you that could influence your bad habits or that could like help you, right? Like help you get yourself caught up. Ooh, and even maybe help you get yourself into bankruptcy. So like maybe they saw how like you were being generous and helping other people and they felt like, oh, okay, that's a bad habit that will lead them to bankruptcy. And so then they maybe even created some fake accounts or maybe came to you talking about like, I don't know, maybe some fake accounts trying to find out if you were carless or if you gave someone a car or if your car got repoed or something like that. I don't know. Let's get more information on that one. So they were on these fake accounts. Like we said, it was already came out that they were cyberbullying you. So they're cyberbullying you to get out of this legal issue. Or no, that's what they're doing. And they got out of the legal issues by saying that you were a spiritual hater and an obsessive lover. Okay. Then they started creating all these fake accounts. Maybe they even did something to you. I don't know, to your car. I had that happen. Like I got a new Mercedes and then the next day, like within like, I don't know, like tires were going flat nonstop and then windows were getting busted out and it would be the awkward window. Like it was the back small little, the little triangular like side type window. And then they broke it and the only thing that they stole was an eyeglass case. They didn't even take the good eyeglasses. It was so ridiculous, but again, these are all things to try to like hold you back. Maybe they feel like, oh, okay, if this person doesn't have a car, that would hold them back. This all sounds really stupid because it's almost kind of like, are there other people on the planet who don't have cars? Oh, do they get places? Maybe they even stole a car. Ooh. Okay, and then there's this divination abuser. Oh, So that's what happened. So they created some fake accounts or whatever. And then they went and used some divination to try to get something to happen to your car, like vandalizing your car or this and that and this and that, because they felt like, oh, okay, well, if this person doesn't have a car, they can't go out. They can't go out and hang out and meet people, and they won't be able to meet their person and blah, 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 blah. And if we keep, messing them up with these fake accounts and sending in people to pretend like they're their, person. I actually had some idiot do that. Somebody was on my page, and at a certain point you forget and you don't know where these people, how they get onto your page, right? It's all a blur, right? So somebody had been on there for hella long. This person kept messaging me about, wanting to buy a place, and they was going to move here and they was going to move there, and they want to buy a house. They want to buy a house, want to buy a house. So finally they say, okay, well, I'm only looking for a rental. This is like years. You know how people just inbox you over the course of time? They're like, oh, okay, well, I'm actually looking for a rental, but, I know you don't do that. So do you want to go out? And it was just really weird to me, but it was kind of like, okay, because I was in that phase of like, okay, I'm just going to get out and meet new people and not be, I want to be me, just a social butterfly. So it was like, okay, I can go out, and he wasn't, he was very well groomed. Let's say that he was very well groomed, right? But he was very arrogant. Like one of those people who felt like money was it. It was just really weird arrogance. And that is a turnoff for me. And I think that maybe they don't know that, like, or they didn't know that. Like maybe that was their attempt to try to prove that you're about the money. But if you were like me, I let this person go very quickly, like within days of the first date, because I already knew what was up. So I switched it. I did the whole little switch reverse. I started being everything that he didn't want because I knew exactly what to do. It's kind of like when you want someone to get out of your space, sometimes you do have to be exactly what they don't want so they feel like it's their idea. And in that instance, I wanted him to feel like it was his idea. I wanted him to feel like he didn't like me. Because to me, it was like, he'll never come back. That's the whole energy here. It's like people think, again, that they're doing something, and it's like, but maybe somebody's sitting, waiting, watching. Maybe somebody's doing this because they know that this is something you don't like, and then that'll, of course, make you walk away. It's like the same games are being played, but somebody's just better, Somebody's just better. Maybe because they don't include so many mischievous things. Like it's in an attempt for the truth. My attempt for the truth by being exactly who this guy didn't like, asking to get my nails done and can you get my hair done? Mind you, knowing this person wasn't going to do any of it, but it was just kind of like, oh, I want to pull this person in so that they can go ahead and realize what they don't want, Yeah, it was just so weird. Because I even had one guy at that time, he was saying something to me like, oh yeah, I don't know. I think he found out how much it costs to actually get my nails done. And he was like, what? And I was like, well, yeah. And so it was like, even then, it was like, that's even more so like to further acknowledge, like, I knew this person wasn't really going to do anything. It was just the point that I knew that for some reason, this person, like the way he was flaunting his money, it was almost like he wanted me to ask him for things. And so I was like, oh, okay, here, do this, here, do that. I literally was going to the nail salon to get my toes done and was still just like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I haven't got them done yet. I just wanted that man to leave me alone, honestly. I did a good job, but then he came back around with some bullshit talking about, oh, I think we have a spiritual connection. Bingo! That was my photo proof in that instance to know that I was right, to know that this person was just one of those fake people that they sent in. And it don't take long, because if you thought that we was on some spiritual connection, you would have said that when we met, right? You came in to kind of get the scoop. You came in to kind of get the business, to find out what was going on. So maybe these are karmic friends that they have that are, oh yeah, let's do that. Oh yeah. Looking like a big dummy though. Because it's like you done wasted your time, your effort, your energy to go take somebody out on a date that has no desire for, like, never was. And like, I don't even know why people would waste their energy towards those things. Like, I reserve my energy only specifically for things that I want. Not the things that I don't want. They're so creative. They're so creative. So those are the other types of hitmen. It got to the point for me personally where I would be out with people and they would notice us getting watched and followed. I was in Venice once. And Venice, there's a lot to do. And the girl that I was with, we went down this way and then we went down that way and then we stopped here. We were just sitting for a minute trying to decide what we were going to do next. And all of a sudden she's like, this person keeps following. And I was like, maybe they're going somewhere. She was like, no, they're definitely following us. And it was just so weird because it was true. It's just, I don't care anymore. What they gonna do? They gonna say hi? They gonna wave? What are they gonna do? They can be that close in proximity to you and still can't do anything. Yeah, look, looking you up. Oh, they can see where you're at today. Okay, good for them. Essentially, what they don't realize is there's about to become a moment where they won't even know where to go to find you. That's what scares them the most. That's what scares them the most. You're going to be in this unbothered energy and reflecting on all the wonderful things that you've been manifesting into your world, and there's not a thing they can do about it. They won't be able to find you. You won't, they can look you up. They can try to research you and study you and get info, but you've already learned the tricks. You already know what to do, what not to do. And you seem to be a pretty quick learner, in so much so that even if they came with some type of fake offer, talking mess, they'd end up the ones haunted because they were trying to make this girl fight. So maybe that's on the other end of things. Maybe if you're masculine, maybe there's some feminine energy that thought she was divine, that's trying to make this offer to you and trying to, make it look like it's good. And no, I wasn't here. I was out of town with my friends. So just because somebody was out of town doesn't mean they couldn't call in somebody to go to town. I'm just saying, like, how far, like, that's just the obvious thing, right? Like, every criminal knows to go on vacation when they send in the hitman. So that's probably why this person is haunted right now, is because everybody knows that, maybe they were even talking mess about this. Talking mess about, oh, well, I ain't cock blocking. I don't care if this person is. So now they look stupid. They also look real stupid because it's like, well, yeah, whomever you got to go towards a collective, they either they went back and told their gang, like, hey, they was trying to set us up. I saw such and such that they sent us after. And this would have happened and this would have happened if we even tried to do that. It's a setup from them. They're trying to set us up. So that's how these gangbangers feel right now. These gangbangers feel like whoever these people is tried to set them up. They are in trouble. And if there are some females involved in this, oh, they best get them gloves on. If I was you, I'd fight without the gloves. Them gloves look a little soft. Take the gloves off. I'm just telling you. Maybe it's somebody who's carless right now. Some dancer energy who's carless right now. That's the first one about to get the brakes beat off of her. I wish I knew these people. So I could go look them up and laugh. La ha ha ha. That's another thing too. They spend so much time looking you up and you don't look up nobody. You be looking at your old stuff you posted, huh? You so cute. You so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now that they've got caught by these gangs, what else is happening in their camp? What else is going on over there? Because I feel like some people are like, these gangs don't play. Yeah, these gangs are mad. These gangs are pissed off because they're pissed off because they're like, oh, this person was just talking mess. This person really is resentful and competitive and discontent about their circumstances and situations with the collective. Like, this is just envy based. This person lied to us about not trying to cock block. That's exactly what they're trying to do. So now they're figuring it out. Yeah. That would haunt me. Shoot, if I sent some people in to do something and then they realize, like, wait a minute, this is a setup. Like, you sent us in here to get our heads blown off kind of energy. They in some type of issues now. Yeah, and they know that this obsessive lover was tripping out because you had this glow up. It's like you had this glow up and I want to say, like, you also learned your lesson. Like, for me personally, when this obsessive lover energy ever came back in, and honestly, it's been it's been years. You know what I mean? Like, I want to even say the last time an energy like this actually had direct communication with me, like text message or phone call, because ain't nobody been in my presence. But the last time, I guarantee you, guarantee you. So the last time someone like this was in my energy, um, well over a year, more than like beyond a year, well beyond a year. But what I get is that this person maybe came back around, um, seeing that you were having this glow up and that you were moving closer to where you wanted to be and stuff like that. And then that's when they really got shattered. Okay, so now they over here breaking their own heart and want to blame you. So then what happened next? Because we know they can't just be shattered and just go on about their life. We know they got to constantly, be involved in some BS against you. So they got shattered because they realized that you had new opportunities, a new career, a successful business, that you created all of this stuff for yourself. And they're all kind of broken and having nightmares and experiencing all these failures. And so after that, what did they do? Oh, they started to try and spy on you. I feel like they tried to like look into your, yeah. Oh, I get they would go and like, I don't know. Maybe they go get readings drunk, or somebody's giving readings drunk. The diviner. Oh. Okay, as they were being shattered, they started to see something. Oh, about your connection to the divine. Okay, so maybe they started to realize too that like, oh, okay, wait a minute. This person's not going to be involved with any karmics. Okay, so they maybe got a little bit more insight into your own spiritual connection and were able to see that like, okay, we can't send somebody fake in towards them. Okay. And they had to go sit down. They had to go recharge and try to figure out how, like, what they could do next. I feel like this is how they live their life. Like, I feel like they're paranoid and puzzled. Like, they're really not puzzled because they know that all the stuff that they did, it had no place. It was not warranted. It was not necessary. It was not. It just wasn't. And that's what keeps them so paranoid. Like, and, the fact that they are having to face, how toxic they are. Because I guarantee you, no matter who cheers you on when you're toxic, there's everybody, even the people that cheer you on, they back there laughing at you. Yeah, these people are burnt out right now. And they're burdened by a lot. That's why they're having to be in this energy of recharging. But what I'm going to tell you right now is the beat down has not even started to beat down like it's supposed to. And that's why things are being more and more like obvious. Because if you ever go to these people's pages and check it out, look and see. I don't know. I never go. And you cannot pay me. You could not pay me to go and look up another mother. Well, I'm going to go be in somebody's energy that. Why? Please. I don't know. So now they're exhausted. They're needing to charge. They see you following. And as they're recharging, there's someone that was trying to come in and get the group to like disguise this conspiracy, or to try to like switch it up and make it seem like it was you, not them. Like you were the one stalking. You were the one doing this. You were the one doing that. You were the one doing this. And so that seems to be where they are now, trying to convince maybe even legal parties that it was you, not them. But that doesn't make sense. Why would you send a group of people against you? So that's where they sound very stupid. And I feel like it's one of those things because this person is a swindler. So they'll say anything to get themselves out of it. And that's usually how they deal with people. Because if you think about it, the swindlers that got you, they probably let you know that they wasn't so good. But then they would say things and you'd be like, okay. So they could just continue to say things to kind of calm you until they saw that you were calm. And then they just go on about their business trying to, influence people or you or whoever to do whatever they wanted to do in order to, hide their deception or disguise whatever they were working on. But essentially, that's what's happened here. So they couldn't influence anybody anymore into their little deceptive games. Ooh, They needed to, oh, so that's when they employed this. So that's when they found somebody else younger in that group, in that clergy or something like that, who really wanted to be able to like gain ranks within that group. And that person said that they were an animal shaman. All right. So now we're getting into the animal shaman. So, all right, what happened here with this animal shaman? What was going on here with this animal shaman? So there's this young person that they were able to get to go along with some animal shamanistic work. Ooh, that ended that friendship. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So whatever happened there, whoever they went to, maybe this animal shaman realized something and cut off that friendship even. Because that's what I'm getting here. Is like somebody realized something, was like, nah, that's not my friend. Like, this person is not any good for me. They're a spiritual hater. So whomever the animal shaman didn't finish whatever work or didn't do it because they were made aware. And they probably broke off communication with this person and just went back to their own, their own devices, like their own everyday thing. Yeah, they really separated themselves. They maybe even deleted their social medias or stopped going on social media. Why did that do that? Why did this animal shaman stop? Oh, they got scared. Look, they got scared because they knew that this strategy wasn't any good. They knew that what they were planning would come back. So they were like, well, wait a minute. If I do this, then maybe even you predicted something, or you said something about what they were planning, or you somehow knew. That's the thing about energy. When it's off, you should know better. Oh yeah, that somebody got sick. Okay. So they got a warning sign not to go through with it because whomever they were with, like their person got sick. Yep. And that's when they decided, oh yeah, we can't be a part of this because that's not gonna it's not gonna shape out well for us. And that person has remained in this like frightened energy because they're not sure, like maybe they did a few other things. Maybe they worked on other things with the clergy. And now they're just completely confused about whether they should even be involved with this group. Ooh, yeah. Look, this just fell out over here on the side. And they know that this idea, like whatever they were doing, is what led to this curse. They know it. And for them, that curse may be like, I mean, whatever they're having to deal with, because you never know. Like, again, what people fail to realize is like a real curse is something money can't get you out of. A real curse is a catastrophe that you cannot pay your way out of. Because what can you do when they don't have a cure for your disease? What can you do where the cure may not be, may not be, what is the word I'm looking for? Effective. What can you do? The curse is mindset. You see that idea that came out before that curse? Is she learning? I hope they learn it. Because the creator is really trying to give messages to people. And I'm kind of tired of giving them, which is probably why I keep having to come to this table. Ooh. Okay. Oh, yeah. So... yeah, this person, whoever this young person is, they decided that they were not going to continue forward. Like, they traveled on. That may have even puzzled these people even more. Like, what happened? Because they didn't communicate what they saw, what they knew. They just was like, yep, nope. Because they knew already. Again, part of the reason why you can't, like... so like I was saying, like when the person came back around, I played the game and I watched. But I also was watching that, like, when I would talk on the phone with this person, I'd have like something bad go on. Like my deal would fall through. And then if, when I pushed them away, everything be gravy. And then if I responded to a text message after 4 or 5 days, then all of a sudden something else with the contract that I had would go wrong. But again, if you're not alone and isolated to be able to see the cause and effect of things, you'll miss it. That's the sad part for them, because isolating you helped you to see everything. You was always a quiet watcher. You was always observing everything. This gave you time to be in your own energy and observe other people and be able to say, well, wait a minute. That's not me. That's them. Oh, like literally they do spell work throughout the night so that you, oh, maybe it's my mother. They would do spell work throughout the night um, to try and like ensure that you woke up this way or that way. And it's like, it just never works. Where was that going? There was some type of something with that. And it just cracked me up. Like I couldn't get past the whole mother card coming out. Oh, precious. Ah, precious. All right, tell us more. What you want us to know about this mama? Somebody, mama. Yo, mama. Yo, mama is so... Oh, I saw Nick Cannon has like so many things going on. Nick Cannon has this little show like where they're sitting at the picnic table and it had Luenell on it, which is the reason why I clicked on it, because I will always and forever love Luenell, even though she's kind of a bit ghetto. But I say it with a little accent because it's Luenell. And I mean, I met Luenell back in the day when she was on Soul Beat on a public television station doing her little show. So I'm like a real fan, you know. I've been in this for, you know, over 20 years with Luenell. So I clicked on it. But needless to say, I think I'm trying to explain something about these energies. Like there are certain energies who realize what they're doing is wrong. I feel like Nick Cannon maybe had been on like, he'd been on like this topsy-turvy of this energy, right? Do I get involved? Do I not get involved? How much do I get involved? And he's admitted like he's on some real, what did he call it? Ratchet. He's on his ratchet behavior. And I can't, this is the thing. He's not doing things to harm other people, right? So that's why you can't like, you got to be unbothered by people who aren't doing anything against you, right? It's the people that come against other people. That's the wrong way to go. Because granted, it's like, who can really say anything about Nick? I mean, you can say all you want to, but he not out here hurting nobody. All of them women want them babies. So I'm just saying, who out there complaining? Anyway, and I just feel like people think that they are able to like dictate and try to say things and make people think one way about you versus the other. So this mother energy is trying to force things on their child. Forcing their way in, using force to get what they want, but never exuding any selfless love, any nurturing behavior. They are not a source of life. Anything that you tell this type of mother energy, I bet you this person has sisters and brothers and all kinds of people whose life then went down the drain. Because a mother energy that's like this is not just doing that with their own children. They're doing that with everybody around them. Because if they could do that to their own child, what makes you think you exempt? Because you're grown? How? They birthed something and they did it this way. Why wouldn't they do that to you? That's also the thing that I think people are realizing too. It's like people are starting to realize like, oh my gosh, I've been up here in this energy with this person and they've been giving me all these fake smiles and looking for dirt. So looking for opportunities in your life, looking for opportunities within your life to try to make sure that they could cause you harm, right? And maybe there's even this money. It must have something to do with money. So there's this mother energy who wants, there's some money or something. And that's the reason why this person wants you back. This is the only reason why anybody ever speaks back to someone is what I'm hearing in this scenario. Because the collective don't do back and forth. You come in, you make contact, you do right. We carry on. If you come in and you're on that fuck shit, you can get the fuck out and don't ever look back. It's just literally how it goes. There's no like, All right, so this mother energy is trying to force their way in to get what they want, but they're not exuding the actual motherly energy. They're probably trying to go broke or maybe going broke in the process or trying to break you in the process. And And that energy was rejected. So it maybe even because they're being rejected, they may even, maybe they feel like, oh, well, maybe they have an illness, because that fell right out here on illness. And maybe they're thinking like there's an opportunity to get released of their own curse if you don't reject them. So that's this parental's idea right now, is that, oh, well, maybe if they know that I'm sick, they won't reject me. Oh, there's the idea. And then that way the curse will switch, because it's all about controlling your emotions. Are you listening? It's all about controlling your emotions. One more time for the people in the back. It's all about controlling your emotions. Them controlling them, or you. So, and this may not be your mother. This may be your person's mother. This may be someone who is a mom. This one may be a woman of yours that you dated who is a mother to your children, so on and so forth. But it clearly says mother. And for the 0 to 45 years that I've lived, I'm going to leave it where it is. I ain't even going to play around with the cards like that. So this idea to let this child know that they're sick or something like that, in order to try to remove the curse. Like, so it's like, if you can just put your empathy and your sympathy and your love and your source of life and your comfort and your nurturing and your selfless love towards their energy because of their illness, then that's going to curse you. That's their new idea. Go in and tell them. Go in and tell them. Yeah, that ain't going to work. Maybe that's even not going to work because there's also some energy or awareness of the fact that like this person is the one in the child services energy. Like there's also like, again, these bodies of law exist in the spiritual realm as well as this physical realm. So this child services, it's like basically what's happened is if they reported you to child services or they were ever so creative, again with this bullshit, so creative enough to have other people contact child services and blip, and blah, 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 blah. Say you weren't this and you weren't that. Now what's happening in the spiritual auditing portion of this is that these parents, mother, father, don't matter, grandmother, it doesn't matter. Those relationships are being evaluated on the spiritual level because as above, so below. Stupid motherfuckers. What you fucking thought? My bad. I didn't mean to curse. Maybe. But I'm just saying, like, because these are children. I have children. You have to understand, I have children. Okay? And I know that taking care of children is not easy. And it's not supposed to be. If you're doing it right, it's hard. Okay? And I heard that from very, very, very good parents. Okay? And you have to be invested in your child. Like, you know, I'm invested in my children and they're 17, 15, and 9. And I'm going to stay invested. This isn't that type of person. This is the type of person that will throw their children to the wolves if they thought that the wolves was going to follow them and go attack other people for them. These are the kind of people that you see them and you're like, they're eating food and their kids not. Like, it's that kind of energy. But so spiritually, this person is being audited. And so everything that they ever did to anybody that was a child or that was in their care. So even if they were a teenager watching family members, children, etc., that is all coming back on them. It's being wrapped up in this. It's being wrapped up real nice in this little curse. They're going to be faced with all the mindset, the ways of thinking that they continue to dive in and put themselves in. That's what's being wrapped up in these little things. That's what that smell is emitting, all the nasty, stanky stuff that they did to people. And it's going to be sitting right there with them because they have to go through and pull out every little piece. Oh, they got to go through this whole little voodoo curse doll. Oh, they got to go through it. Oh. And I can only imagine that if you're actually guilty, it's a lot worse than what happened during the lesson and healing process and growth process that the collective went through. See, because the collective was in this process getting beat down. You hear me? Beat down. But they were doing the right thing the whole time. These people have been doing the wrong thing. Imagine. Always partying, so creative. Groupies. Oh, let's all get together. Let's catch a case together. Who has herpes today? That's the kind of energy these little ratchet, nasty things be in. I'm just keeping it 100. Nasty. I'm going to use a different name. All right, so now that they're faced with their own demons, could be an illness, I don't know. Could just be a sick mindset that they can't let go of. Because again, some of these people are pedophiles, and they were pushing off, because that came out in a previous reading. There are the higher ups in the group. Oh, there are some other people too, that people get a pedophile energy off of this person. They're not sure, but they've never seen this person do anything wrong, right? And it's just kind of like they just get a weird, the community knows that they all get this weird, just like if you ever looked at Diddy, you saw that nigga look weird. But this person looks weird. The whole community sees that. That person has a pedophilia energy only because they were abused as a child. Now, their pedophilia energy does not allow them, like because of their trauma from what they experienced, they would not do that to another child, but they will let spiritual things take place because they feel like spiritually, if they had been protected, then that would have never happened to them. So they're mad at the spiritual realm about it. The physical realm, they're not going to do that. But they'll get down all day in the spiritual realm. So this person may look like a peaches and cream and, peas and carrots to everybody around. But this person, and I'm getting this is a male person. This is a masculine energy. But everybody picks up on that. Like, is this person but they never see anything, and they never will, because this person wouldn't, because of their childhood trauma. And it's like their childhood trauma has them so trapped to the point to where it's like they would never. But then it gets twisted in the effect of, but spiritually, I'm okay. Spiritually, I'm okay to attack these children and to send them night terrors and, this and that and the other. You know what I mean? Maybe there's even a doctor energy that's along those lines too, if that's not the doctor energy that I'm talking about. But a lot of these people, their pedophilia energy is being pushed back to them. What's going to happen here with that? Because I'm curious about that one. Oh, somebody is going to say something. Or maybe this person is going to be called. Maybe like this pedophilia person is going to be called. Something's going to pull on their emotions. That's going to cause them to perform in this space where this legal stuff is going on. So their childhood. Oh, wow. This is deep. So their inner child is crying out to them to go and tell the truth about whatever these legal things are that they know about. Their inner child is telling them, go do this. This is your one opportunity to perform. This is your one opportunity to take back this for me. That's what a lot of people don't realize, is like fighting these demons and going against them. That's what releases your inner child, you dodo birds. That's what helps you grow. That's the spiritual knowledge. That's how you become a ninja. Duh. Okay, so I don't know. Like, this person's going to be their spiritual. Yeah. So the other thing that this person's going to be called to do as well is that when they're called to testify or whatever in this court, they need to tell the truth. In addition to that, while the collective is in their glow up energy, they need to mind their business, because that's the spy card in reverse. They need to mind their business. They need to not try to figure out where the collective is going, what the collective is doing. They'll be made aware. Like, they're going to see somehow, just like somehow collective being made aware. They're going to see that you made it to your grow up, but they need to ignore it, because it will start to affect this inner child, which will put them right back into this curse energy. It'll put them back in their head if they start this stalking up again. Look, I'm telling you, because I know. Stupids. Yeah, they need to really remain like in this unbothered energy and feel good about the fact that they hadn't let their childhood trauma cause them to put other children through the trauma in the 3D. They still have to pay for the spell work and the things that they've involved themselves in. Otherwise, though, there's like no getting out of it, because that's just played out. Like, you can't move on from that. They think that they're moving, but you can't move on from it. You can only try to learn the lessons. And the only way that you can show and fulfill to the planet that you've learned the lesson, or God, or whoever it is that they're trying to get right with. They need to get right with themselves, is to show the action and continue with said mindset for long-term duration. It's kind of like they can't just be like, okay, today I'm gonna be honest, today I'm gonna be good. And then by 6 p.m., they turning their nose up. It doesn't work like that. They can't just like, and I think that person is realizing that, like, oh, you keep getting met by some nagging negative energy because you keep getting right back into this curse, wanting, romantic love affair. I feel like this person, whoever this is, that's really trying to work on whatever, they have this romantic love affair, not with the collective. Collective is not being bothered, but they have a romantic love affair, maybe with this like mother energy, could be, but I don't get it's them. I get it's somebody else. Maybe this person even has tattoos that they're involved with, because I'm seeing this lady has tattoos here, but there's a romantic love affair that this person is attempting to figure out what to do and how to do it in order to not bring this curse into their new relationship. Yep, look, father came out. So this is the father energy. Father. What a tangled web they weave. Something here about this chef energy is maybe learning as well that the protection of whomever they're trying to force this on is too strong. It spans upon nations. It's like there's a dedicated loyalty, and there's a dedicated honor, and there's a dedicated integrity, and there's dedicated selfless service inside every single person on the planet that can identify with the collective. And as soon as the collective connects to that inner child, as soon as the collective hits that point, as soon as the collective says something that gets that person to actually start going deeper, there's no stopping it. That's what an awakening. That's what they mean by the collective keeps awakening people. Maybe there's actually some type of soldier energy who's still trying to force, who feels like, oh, well, I learned all of this and, I can't stop now because, they really feel like they learned something that they should be using. And so let's see what happens with that, because I'm not getting that they should be doing that. Like all these people didn't want to get their hands dirty. They literally put their hand in the mud and then went and put their fingerprints next to it. Like, did you see me? Okay, because they thought they would never get caught. They figured like people would see the handprint and the fingerprints and just automatically go with it's the collective, because that's the way they set it up. What's going on with this soldier energy? Ooh, this soldier energy is maybe even try to merit make. Yeah, because they're really realizing like they don't have a place. They don't have a space. And maybe this soldier energy, whoever this is, thought that they were kind of like, I got this energy of like a mother trauma bonding with her children. And to think about how that works is actually crazy, because I had a girlfriend who was always really close with her kids, and her kids were like teenagers, but she knew all the scoop. Like she knew who was dating who was doing this and who was doing that, and da-da-da-da-da. And for some time I was like, oh, that's really cool that, they have such a close relationship, and that probably keeps her friends, her children's friends, or her child out of trouble with their friends, right? But then I looked a little bit deeper at it and I was like, wait a minute. This child will never have like any privacy. She's stifling this child. They need to feel like they have their own life that's not under the guise and the guard and the premise of the parent. To an extent, you don't need to be in their business, but you need to be about their business, right? It's this thing. It's also kind of a level of like, oh, she probably doesn't trust her children because of what she maybe did when she was younger. Like I saw all of these things, and then I saw how like invasive it is, and how much these children just completely isolated themselves from their parents once they moved out, because they had so much of their person being in their business. All right, so what is this merit making? I'm gonna pull some tarot on that. What is this merit making this soldier energy is trying to do? I keep seeing this no reservation though, right under this rejected. It's like these people, maybe they're trying to merit make with the wrong people. They keep trying to go merit make with the wrong people. They need to be asking for forgiveness to the people that they tried to hurt. Oh, wow. Ooh, look what's on the bottom. So this soldier is now having a bunch of delayed success. Like they're things that they were working on or trying to get to come together for them it's now like it's all failed. It's like stagnant. So maybe they were even trying to like get their marriage back together too, is what I'm hearing now. But it's like if you go attack somebody else's marriage, what do you think is going to happen to yours? If you go and attack somebody else's union, what do you think is going to happen to yours? It's kind of like that whole saying. It's like, well, the way you get them is the way you lose them. So if you was the girl that was cheating with the man and then he marries you, who do you become? The woman that gets cheated on, right? So, and it's just kind of like they just get, hey, you guys, they just get a weird, the community knows that they all get this weird. Oh, okay, we're live again. I got to catch up to where my story left off. This person looks weird. The whole community sees that. That person has a pedophilia energy only because they were abused. Okay. You don't need to be in their business, but you need to be about their business, right? Okay. It's this thing. It's also kind of a level of like, oh, she probably doesn't trust her children because of what she maybe did when she was younger. Like I saw all of these things, and then I saw how like invasive it is, and how much these children just completely isolated themselves. Okay. So in their business. All right. So what is this merit making? I'm trying to find out where it stopped because I was just going. What is this merit making? Soldier energy is trying to do. So we were talking about this soldier energy. But these people maybe trying to merit make with the wrong people. If you're trying to merit make with wrong people, they need to be asking for forgiveness to the people that they're trying to. All right. Almost there, guys, but they are under judgment. I shuffled these cards again, and the judgment card still came out. Okay. I think I was in the middle of telling the story about how like when I was married and I was younger, my brother is a soldier and he had just, married this woman and, they were so happy and they were coming out to visit or whatever. And, back then I had so many things going on. Like I was in such a toxic marriage that I couldn't see straight most days because I'm trying to take care of everything and then arguing with some idiot at the same time. So at that time when my brother came out, it was like he was maybe like 2-3 hour drive away from where I was. But I just kind of like, when you're in a toxic relationship, you must admit it will have you lose track of all kinds of stuff, right? Because it's toxic, And so at that time, I missed my brother, coming out to visit us. And it was like 20 years later, he's still mad. Not knowing, I just didn't want to put you in a toxic situation. My life was just so toxic at that point in time. I didn't even know when you were coming or you were going. And when I probably looked at your message and saw that you were called or whatever it was, an email, however we was communicating that long ago, I was probably in the middle of an argument or something crazy, finding out my person had cheated. Yeah, so essentially, like, I feel like this is what people are doing. They're holding grudges against you about things that, like, they had no idea about. They didn't take the time to listen. This is what people are doing. They're holding grudges against you about things that, like, they didn't take the time to listen. And they just want to feel like you're wrong. And like, you just like, I don't know, like, because I don't even understand a grievance that anybody could have when they'd explain things like, well, I was in a really bad relationship and I just didn't really, feel like that, like it would have been fake. Like the whole thing would have been fake. It would have been like horrible. You know what I mean? Because let's just be honest. That's what it's like when you're in an unhappy marriage. Like I can tell you firsthand, honey. I can tell you firsthand. But I feel like this came out too, but the camera went off. But the Seven of Cups, it's like, I feel like people see you doing well and living out your dreams and stuff and your opportunities. And, they feel like, oh, well, if you left me out this point in time, then, you're against me. When it was like, no, I was leaving you out so that you wouldn't be a part of the mess. You know, what would have happened if my brother and this horrible person that I married became friends, and now this man that I married is influenced my brother to cheat on his wife? People don't realize, like, maybe I didn't even want you associated with that part of my life. Maybe I didn't want to muddy up things. Maybe I didn't want to be fake in front of you because I actually love you and care about you. But people are so self-centered, right? And then they go and they do things, like be mad at you for the rest of your life because of the one visit that you didn't make. It's that kind of energy. It's like, I feel like some people are mad at the collective because they got other business opportunities. Like, how'd you get that business deal? Or, how'd you, get this? Or how'd you get that? And it's like, well, or maybe they're going up for the same job or something, and you get the job. Yeah, you get the job. It lands right in your hand. And then they're sitting there looking at you like, well, how come this person always has these new beginnings and blah, blah, blah? Because they're not looking at other people saying, well, this and this, and making assumptions and, putting all this minutia together for other people's lives. They're just focused on creating their own. And that's the sad part that people don't realize. It's like, that's where they're going wrong. That's how they're playing both sides of it, and they're not realizing. That's what gets them caught up in this. Like, you have such a vengeance, and you're so angry about things that you've made up, or things that you just absolutely know aren't true, or things that shouldn't even really matter to you at this point because they have nothing to do with anything in your life. But you want to have a problem with somebody. That comes because you've never healed yourself. Like, did your daddy let you down? Your daddy didn't show up? Your daddy abandoned you? And that's why you get mad at people when they don't show up for you? But did the person come into your life and say, hey, come and be with me and come and do this? Like, it's different if somebody comes to you and says, come together with me and come meet me on this day, and then they cancel. That's flaky. That's bullshit. Don't fuck with people like that. But if you invite yourself to somebody else's space, arena, time, life zone, etc., and they can't come through for you, you need to be accepting of that. And I feel like that's how everybody felt. Like, you got to be there for everybody else. And if you ever chose to be there for yourself, they gonna hold it against you. How dare you? Which is crazy because they don't stop nothing they doing for you. Nothing. Not a thing. I feel like that's where a lot of these people are right now. They realize, like, oh, damn. And I feel like somebody is really trying to do some merit making to save their marriage. Somebody is really confused at, like, how do I get this cycle back? For somebody is because they don't have nobody else. They don't have no way to provide for themselves. They're going to be homeless without their person because they don't want to do anything. They never have, never will. I know somebody like that. Do you know my ex-husband actually told me the reason why he wasn't going to go get a job was because he said that I wanted to quit my job and stay at home. But I'm the one that's always had the job. Make it make sense. I should want to stay home. Shit. I done had the babies, fed the babies, dropped the babies off, went and worked to make food and roof over the head for the babies. And I could have done it by myself. That's why broads call people sperm donors. But see, I'm not a rude person. I'm not an evil person. I'm not going to go out there and tell everybody about what you do and how you treated me and what you did. I'm going to just say, it didn't work out. I'm going to move on. I don't have the time, the effort, the energy to badmouth anybody because I got other stuff to do. That's people's problem. They got so much time to say so much stuff, and people don't realize, like, you got so much time to talk. Shouldn't you be out there doing something? Nah, they're going to get y'all to do it by way of this illusion that they just set in front of your face. Getting you to jump on the bandwagon to be against somebody, to go and defeat somebody because they resent the abuse and the conflict that they cause for them. You know what they're going to do? Bring that same energy right into your household because that's what an STI is. Spiritually transmitted idea, inception, thought process. It's all the same, right? People don't realize, like, oh, wait, we're cursed because we keep thinking like this. Exactly. But they don't see it that way. It never ceases to amaze me how completely self-centered and non-self-aware people actually are. And that was something that I learned to like look at first to try to identify a narcissist. Also look at how quickly they come in and they want to be everything, because as quickly as they came in to be everything is as quickly as they're going to leave you hanging. And for me personally, you ain't got to leave me hanging but once. And trust me, when you leave me hanging, I'm not offended. And that's likely what they want you to be, collective. They want you to be mad if somebody says, like, like, let's say you go to the nail salon and you get ready to get your nails done and you sit down and you ask for a specific person and they say, oh, so-and-so can't do your nails. They expect you to get mad about that because you can't have it your way. Because that's how they are. And they regret that. They regret it. They're disappointed because they were so focused on your failure, they didn't see their own, possibly. And they are sad and they regret what they did because it's got them in so much trouble. Not because they regret what they did to you, because it's got them in so much trouble. I don't know if this was upright or reversed. Does it even matter? Fear of change, holding on, depression, delayed endings. So that's what they were doing. They were trying to have these delayed endings, which essentially Spirit probably came down and was like, nah, it's over. Because what I understand is like when people don't want to face reality, that's why the energy of other entities comes into play. Like Sekhmet. I did a live on that last night. And, that's why those energies show up. Because those energies don't give a damn about destructing mankind. That's what they did in previous lives. They good. That's perfect. And I'm talking about the reincarnates, the divine beings. I hope y'all get that. I don't know. Some people just don't seem too smart. As a matter of fact, most people. Granted, we've all had our not smart days, right? We've all danced with the devil, right? And at a point in time, a time or two, the devil probably even followed us home and took some stuff, right? But those are memories that no one really is holding on to as far as the collective. And that's a part of the problem. Like, these people keep thinking that like, oh, there's something that you're holding on to. Let's introduce a new person and have them break their heart. It's like, if that happened, why wouldn't we handle it the same way we've handled all the other things? They feel like there's a straw that breaks the camel back. Well, this ain't no camel. That's where you had it messed up. This is a goat. It's a goat. That's why the camel don't break the straw don't break the camel's back. It's not a camel, you dummies. I hate having to explain things. I feel like I gotta look up words, and it's like when I'm fine, I'm cool. I just feel like so many other people are so stupid, and that's just annoying. Whatever you're about to celebrate, whatever you're about to come into union to, whatever homecoming is about to place, whatever, what does this say? Group you're about to belong to, or whatever. It's about to be lovely. That's all I'm going to say. It's about to be so, look at this. I love this for you. And it feels like it's, it's definitely deserved, again. And I feel like the only reason why people are going to suffer so much worse now than they would have if they had stopped earlier is because they didn't stop. Like, that's essentially what's happening. It's like these people, look, I just said it. These people are in this battle-worn energy. They're going to be wounded warriors. They're going to be constantly fighting. They're going to be defensive. They're going to be sick. They're going to be injured. They're going to be the ones needing time to heal, to sit and recuperate. And you know what? For a lot of these people, all of them, it's like, well, how do they expect to get to the next part without going through the proper steps? I'm just saying. That's gonna what makes people battle worn, right? Is going through the steps and enduring the, whatever, the karma, and figuring things out and having to wake up and, really heal that inner child that's over here mad at the sister because she didn't want to get you into toxic situations and bring you into her toxic household, even though you invited your own self over there. But you're gonna be mad at that person. You holding on to that. This might have went on for 9 years or more. This person holding on to stuff unnecessarily. Don't make no sense. And these people really, they really wonder why they don't get this result? Are they happy when, like, at any point in their lives? Because it feels like it's just like a bunch of roller coaster energy. Like their emotions are never clear because they're constantly involved in some stuff. And then because their mindset is so warped, they're blaming people over here and over there. And that's the thing that's getting them in trouble. The fact that they even used other people to try to do something that would get them in trouble, that's the three-facedness that's causing all this disruption. Because it's not coming from just, oh, the legal stuff. They got other people coming after them. Cartels, regular gangbangers. And if any of them lived in a city near you and they still around, they better hope those people that they can't pay no more to stalk you and harass you don't start stalking and harassing them. I really wish that people would I see all this beautiful stuff coming out too, because it's like, yeah, that's like a thing. Like their reality is what yours used to be. And that's a hard pill to swallow for them. But they have to swallow every pill they tried to force feed you. Ooh. I don't like to see that one. They feel betrayed by each other. They feel so betrayed by each other because everybody's realizing how nobody stopped anybody from the stupid stuff that they were doing. And now they're sitting there like, dang, you ever had that where it's like, dang, where you see something getting ready to happen, or or it's like, dang, that sinking feeling where you're like the reality set in, like, fudge, I'm really messed up. I had that happen. And how it eats away at you every stinking day. You can't sleep, you can't think, you can't do. They're on autopilot right now, trying to make sure they find things to keep themselves involved in so they can not focus on what is actually happening. And that's why that whole Sekhmet energy is coming back. Because it's like, oh, no. You have to face it. We'll make it worse and worse until you don't have any choice. Until the only thing that's left available for you to use is your mouth to scream and tell the truth. I was trying to say to call for help, but that's not what you're going to be able to do. The words in my head said call for help, but the words that came out was say the truth. I'm serious. This is the reality of it. It's like I think people discount how much, people tend to discount how much, what is it called? When people feel guilty about something, like, that whole feeling of like a guilty conscience, that's what it is. They fail to realize like how much a guilty conscience will prey on them. Like it really will work magic in their life is what I'm hearing. Because it's like everything that they desired, everything that they put their willpower towards, everything that they were trying to create, everything that they were trying to manifest. All the happy news that you were having that they wanted to crush, including your spirituality and your so creative, your creativity. All of that they used is right back at their front door. People's wives cheating, cars breaking down, getting stolen, people getting beat up, getting calls from family members saying so-and-so got this, and so-and-so's in the hospital, and so-and-so lost their house burnt down, and so-and-so this, all of this stuff. I wonder where those ideas came about in the universe. They want you to shut up, collective. They don't want you to tell each other. They don't want you to be all talkative and using your lead and your vigilance to let everybody know what they did. Why not? That's what y'all did. You see how it reversed? You see how it go back? You sat and talked about the collective. You were so energetic and talkative and using your noodle to come up with another lie about what they did that they never did. All this betrayal, all of this disharmony that you caused, all these toxic friendships that you helped create for them because they didn't have any toxicity towards these people that were their friends. These people had toxicity towards them, which is what enabled these individuals to even believe what you were saying. Okay? But yeah, ain't that funny? Now you want the collective to shut up. Maybe you should have shut up. Maybe you shouldn't have been out there talking, running your mouth like diarrhea. Maybe that's who should have shut the up. I didn't say the curse word. I skipped it on purpose. But maybe that's who should have shut up. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm just saying. Maybe they should have been focused on their own stuff, planning for their future, trying to travel to go somewhere, see something they ain't never seen before. Other than like another person to manipulate, because that's what some people do. Like they travel over globes and to different countries. Also, with the energy of these groups, how like the groups weren't in like some of these groups don't mess with each other. Like for real. And to put them in a situation where they're being caught up in each other's stuff, that the higher ups in those groups is mad. So essentially there's someone who is a part of the Freemasons, and then there's that same person that is involved with the Freemasons and doing stuff over there is also involved in some type of Russian cult group. And they don't work together. And they are finding out because too much stuff is blowing up. Like they're hearing about, because of course these groups have spies in the other groups, duh. But they're hearing about the stuff that's happening from group to, somebody just said, wow. They're hearing about what's happening from group to group, country to country. Again, it was already known in other countries about the collective and not to do spell work on them. Maybe 6 months to a year ago, or if not more, but it was already getting out there like, oh yeah, this, again, that name coming out, these people have probably been watched for over a year, if not like a year and a half at this point, or longer. What year are we in? 2025, but we just started that, huh? So let's just say for argument's sake, they started in 2019. No, in 2019. January of 2019. That was 5 years. In January, wait, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, January of this year was the 5th year of that energy. And I feel like if things weren't seen within that 4th year, that's how they know. But that's also what's causing this clash with these, again, Freemasons and the Russians. That's all I got for you. Okay. And you can look that up through history that they don't. Isn't the Russians? I think it's the Russians. They have never gotten it. They've not. They don't. They. Let's see. They have a lot of. They got a lot of different people. Versus the Catholic Church, the Knights of Columbus, the Mormons, Nation of Islam. So that's another one too. Oh, yep, definitely Russia. So if there's, the Nazis versus the Freemasons. But what I'm understanding is it's specifically Russia. Like there is an issue. There's this hidden parallel between them, but they're in trouble. And there's something else going down in Germany too. Or maybe that's where somebody's about to travel from to the U.S. to come take care of somebody. Because they're in trouble. You gotta make this up. These groups don't play that. That's not what they, ooh, yeah. They really want me and you and everybody else to shut up and tell them about what they know and like stop talking amongst each other, because now they're finding out how three-faced they really were. So that's also happening in these groups. Like they've even told people lies within the groups about each other and just like stuff just to make people not talk to this other person within the group, so they wouldn't know that they got money from them or they got them to go along on this and that and the other. I don't know. It was just a lot of like convolution. You know, what do you expect from gangsters? I'm getting this singer energy, like they're, and because a lot of people are actually out there talking and telling people about like, nah, this person's totally confident. They're already on this new journey because they don't even care about anything going on around them. They still happy every day. They wouldn't care if they had, man, if they stubbed their toe on the edge of that bed, they'd be like, oh, that really hurt. Oh, oh, it's going to hurt for 5 minutes. And they move on. You know, they're definitely confident, you know, strong confidence too here. So, I mean, to be expected, right? When you have like so much creation and so much, you know, energy at your disposal, again, because these people created entities when they sent all of this energy to you, because entities and stuff like that are all made of energy. Yep. Ooh, hold on. Oh, wow. What I'm getting is that when you were in this Page of Wands energy previously, that you were, when you first started becoming confident and fearless and enthusiastic about your new journey, they kept trying to cut you down real bad then. They were doing all kinds of stuff to make you skeptical or apathetic or have a negative outlook, or to like continue to contemplate things. So they would constantly push that energy towards you just in their own mindset. Like they would think, oh, she's skeptical about this. She's skeptical. He's skeptical about this. She's, you know, just to help you have that energy around you. You know what I mean? And if you're doing new things that require confidence and it's a new journey and you need to be fearless and enthusiastic, of course, the proper things to send to try to deter you are skepticism, apathetic energy, negative, you know, mindsets of what could go wrong kind of things. That could also be a telltale to you that you're in the wrong energy if you are constantly trying to figure out what could go wrong. Why are you looking at that? Why aren't you just doing what you need to do? Also, sitting in the mode of contemplation too long. Again, I said the other day, anybody that says they're stuck, they lie. They're a lie. They're a bold-faced lie. Because even if somebody can't be with you, they can remove themselves from the person slowly, whatever. Or they can say, hey, this is what my plans are. I mean, it's the whole contemplation energy. That's what they wanted you to be. And they just wanted you to think about it, to never act on it. Oh, they crazy, crazy. Oh, they don't want you to be Action Jackson. Every time you make a move, Action Jackson, they got to come bring this for you. Oh, so make the moves, baby. Make moves. Make moves. Make all the $1 million moves, baby. Make them all. Do them today. Don't go to bed till midnight. I don't know. That's just really the energy I'm getting right now. But I feel like that's what you're in. It's like, yeah, there's no skepticism. Can't even say it because it don't belong in the sentence with the Queen of Wands. There's no skepticism. Here, yeah. What's this on the back? Oh, yeah. They want, I guess maybe they want you to have like, maybe feel like it's a tough decision. What to do, where to go, how to be. Oh, be afraid. Be afraid. That's what they want you to think about. They want you to focus. Yeah, they want you to stay focused. They want you to stay focused, okay? Keep thinking in the negative direction, right? They want you to constantly go in and contemplate and think that you, again, they want to keep you in that thinking mode. Constantly go in and think and just bring, you know, just focus on memories like, oh, okay, well, this and then this. And they don't want you to be active or take any action on what you know. They just want you to sit and think. They want you to sit and let your moment pass you by. Are you hearing me? There's something up with this next half moon. They want you to pass this opportunity. That was another reading I was going to do. They want you to sit still and pass this opportunity by. They want this whole half moon to go by because that's when they're going to do their spell work. Because as long as they get to that half moon and they can do their spell work and you haven't done what you're supposed to do, you haven't made any moves or whatever, then they're good. So just know that. Yep, they want to keep you, like somebody even might try to come and argue with you or send you aggressive energy or angry energy or chaos energy or competitive energy. And again, if they send you competitive energy, it can sometimes look like you decided that you wanted to open whoop, whoop, whoop business. But then they'll send you this competitive energy and then you'll all of a sudden see advertisements for the same type of business. Do not stop. Yours is different. Yours is designated. Yours is special. Yours is appropriate, like so on and so forth. They definitely want you to think that. They want you to think that any obstacles that come to you are because you're not going in the right direction, which sometimes could be true, but you have to ask yourself, am I? But that's what they want you to do. They want you to stay with a lack of confidence that when you move, you're making the right decisions. So you just got to know all of your forward movement is the right direction. Anything that goes back that brings you any issues, that's a problem. And you may start to notice in your gut too. But whenever you get into this, like, oh, I'm not sure, just know that's the trick of shaitan or something. They want to keep you thinking that this is a tough decision. Think that you're in a stalemate. Think that you're stuck in the middle. Keep you blind to the truth that whatever you want is yours. You can't tell me it ain't mine. Shoot. Yep. Especially if you're a King of Pentacles. They definitely want to keep you stuck. You they money, honey. You they sacrifice. You ain't know that? I think that's what some people didn't realize too. Like, as long as they keep you focused on what they need you to do, you are the sacrifice. You are sacrificing yourself, whether it be working hard. Again, they don't mind oppressing you. That's oppression. And the only things you know are the things you're taught. And I know that for a fact because the other day I said slave, and my daughter said, "What is that? What does that word mean?" Because she could tell by the way that we were using it that it did not mean something that she wanted to be associated. And she wanted to know what it meant so she could make sure that she did not get involved. And I was like, I was like, don't worry about it. She was like, well, all I know, mommy, is if I have slaves, I'm going to do nice things for them. I'm going to do good things for them. I'm going to do nice things. She was so adamant because she could tell that it was like, it's not a good thing. And I said, well, that's not why they made the word. And she was like, what do you mean? It was like they made this word to represent something that was going to be forever having to work, something that didn't, get this or that. And when I explained it to her, she was like, but again, she's 9. And now I've realized, like, my daughter doesn't even realize that they might have told her at some point in time that she was a slave. She don't have that mindset. And I'm grateful for that. Now it made me take more honor and pride in when I think that I should have homeschooled my children or putting them into certain schools that don't provide this, but do provide that. I feel like I made really excellent choices, really excellent choices when I disenrolled them from a preparatory academy to put them into a school that was more Montessori. Because if the only 2 things in my children's life that are influencing them is me and everybody else in our household, like under our roof, and their school, and I put them into a school where their approach is different, the mindset of the whole entire foundation is different, it's going to create a different environment, right? Which is why people like Montessori schools. Kind of lets kids go at their own pace. They get to do different things like gardening and, composting. Things that people don't feel are valuable, but then they get older and they want to learn all the ingredients on the back of their food. And, it's weird because we often think like the things that people tell us when we're young are just because they're old. When really they're just trying to prepare us so that we don't become old and stupid or old and stuck. Yeah, if you're in this King of Pentacles energy, they definitely want you to sit your ass right there. Don't look what came out, the Knight of Pentacles. They want you to sit your ass right there because that's going to hold you back from your own glow up. Look at where it fell. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, just sit over here and think. Yeah, just sit over here and think. The more they can get into your head, the more they know your glow up is dead. The more they can get into your head, the more they know your glow up is dead. I could say it for you again, friend, but I'm sure you heard me the first time. Could be an Aquarius. You better move on from this drama. I don't care if it is your mama. You better know the difference. That is a title, yo. That is a title. And what good is the title if you realize that the whole entire time that they maybe supported you or encouraged you was just so that they could have this control over you and never let you get to your own space? That's the part that you really got to realize, like, what was the ultimate goal? Especially for me, because it's like I realized early on, like, how I was, a part of my family's like breadwinning. Like, as a child, I had to provide for myself because my dad wasn't around. So the first instance where somebody came to school with something cute on that I didn't have, I went and bought it. Yes, at 5 years old. And that probably signified to my mother, oh, well, shoot, if she can go out and get her own stuff, what could she bring me? Some people got to realize that's why your parents didn't mind you having, this independence and, jobs at 15 because you was paying their bills. I remember the first bill I got handed to me. I remember working 2 part-time jobs, and I was barely 17. I was working at Levitt's Furniture on the days that Ross had me scheduled off, because Ross was my first job. So whenever Levitz was, and I was right in that front office at Levitz too, dressed up, suited and booted, 17, with pencil skirts and blouses galore, because I worked at Ross. That's what I was buying. With my work money was outfits to go work somewhere else. And see, that's the type of energy, like, people don't realize, people don't think that, like, oh, being in that work energy is also a twisted mindset. Yes, work, but enjoy the fruits of your labor, you know? Enjoy what you've worked so hard for. If you sit here and plan for the future, you got to know that there's a point where you got to take a rest, you know, recuperate, take a break from that. And even if it's just like incorporating something new into your life where you just go and rest and then you go back. It's about balance, you idiots. It's not about making life one way. If life has taught you anything, it's that stuff will change, and your mindset and the things that you decide you want to go do and be involved in are going to change. So the only thing that's constant is change, right? Did you change your underwear today? Okay, well then you got me. You feel me on this. You should. I'm just saying. Use your noodle. Sudden upheaval, broken pride, disaster, and renovation. Yep. That's what that leads to. When you go through that process, it is a tower moment. But towers are so beautiful, because if you don't break your own pride, your own ego, you don't really get to that point of renovation, because it looks like a sudden upheaval. Everything's changing. People switching up on me. I got to do this. They keep throwing all their stuff on my lap and I got to take care of it. For me personally, that's where I was. And that's when I cut off my family. I felt like everybody was putting their drama right in my lap, and I'm busy with my own life. But now I'm dealing with their problems? How dare you? How dare you? And I've pushed forth every venture and effort and everything, encouraged you every step of the way along your way. You've never had a beautiful thing to say. You might say, oh, I see you did this. Oh, because I see you did that. Niggas, congratulate me. You seen me do it. Stop getting jealous about it. Be encouraged. That's what people's problem is. They're not encouraged by other success. They're discouraged about their own lack of success. Well, who are you looking at, and why are you looking at them? Because you need to switch your eyes to the focus in the man in the mirror. It's so stupid and idiotic to me. Yep, that's basically what they want you to do. They don't want you to get to the point of renovation. So they would like to keep you right here. So if you want to stay there, then, you know. But that ain't what the collective do. Ain't nobody keeping the collective from every single glow up that they have, because it's not just one. It ain't just one. It ain't just one. They keep having them. They keep having them. You know, getting my George Jefferson on right now. They keep having these glow ups. What is you, crazy? And you know this, man. Anywho, I hope that this has been helpful and insightful in some way, shape, or form. Accept your towers, people, so that you can move on. Accept whatever it is about your ego that you don't want to address or that you don't want to admit. You know, sometimes I had to accept losing. I had to accept loss. And I was only able to accept it when someone that had more than me, you know, someone wealthier than me, came and made the inclination that basically shared how many deals they had go bad, how much money they lost over time, and how every time it got to be more and more that they would lose, but it would also be more and more that they would gain. So whatever they would lose, they would get it back. And then they would go through the process again of gaining. And then they would see something really big and they would lose. So when I first started with my previous business, it was like $5,000. That was the biggest deal. When I got a $5K check cut to me, oh yeah. But then set your sights elsewhere. Now you got a $15K check. Somebody did me really shady. Several people did in business. And when people play with people's money, that's where they really mess up, because that energy is the one that everybody so desires, you know? And so when you steal it from other people, just imagine. And it doesn't have the weight, like, it's not like that person is going to end up losing $15,000 because they did something to make sure that I did not get my well-earned and deserved money. No. If it were only that easy. See, the magnitude of that $15,000 at the time that I didn't receive it for the work that I had done was actually detrimental to me and my family. So that's what ends up happening. It's not like this person's going to be like losing 15K. They're going to lose some type of opportunity that is detrimental to their family. And it's probably going to like evolve in the same fashion where it's like they can't say or do anything about it because of their own hand in it. It's like, oh, okay. It's kind of like the people are going to just be taking big losses. That's what I'm hearing, taking big losses. Like they might even like trade in their car. Uh-oh. Where's this coming from? Somebody might go trade in their car and get a new whip. Get a new whip. And within days, that new whip, something happened. Somebody didn't do something, didn't get the insurance on it like they should have. Something happened, the car just disappeared. They got no whip. And they still responsible. Because something happened and the insurance didn't go. Maybe they was involved with that little shady insurance person. And that person is stuck, energetically stuck, that they not doing their paperwork. They are pushing it off to the next day. And because they're pushing it off, because they so stressed out about all this stuff that they did, because they push it off until the next day, that means your policy wasn't active until later. But you already driving the car. You see how the things work? That's these things that these people are going to be experiencing. It's going to just be a lot of different stuff that it's like, ugh. And they're going to know. They're going to know. Not that they're going to know it's all this hard work. Yep. They're going to know exactly why they're being left out, why they feel like they're in poverty, why they're facing poverty and hardship, sickness and scandals. So again, like I said, some of these people are going to find themselves in scandals, getting exposed, or they're going to find that their person is involved in these scandals and the person's being exposed, which kind of ties them into it because it's like birds of a feather and you're still with the person. And so it's like some people are going down because they're people going down. You know, their person is, you know, all bad. That's the whole point of removing yourself from toxic relationships, though, right? It's so that when these people's behaviors really, you know, take over their lives, that you're not a part of it. But if you play a part of it, that's where you mess up, I guess. I don't know. I won't be doing that stuff. All right, what's the vibe? What else is out here for these people? So they were three-faced. They got all these different groups and stuff going against each other. They're going against each other. There's a lot of chaos amongst them. Because again, if they're sending out chaos magic, it's just going right to someone else in another group. And that's what they're seeing too. They're seeing all these things like, again, job losses. Ooh. Ooh. And they felt like it was wishful thinking, or they still feel like it's wishful thinking to think that this divine masculine energy is going to be divine enough to walk himself out of that Knight of Pentacles, because that's what's right here. They're feeling like, oh, I'm gonna get a second chance, don't trip, because this person loves me. So this person is like, yeah, even if I'm out in the cold or not being bothered or whatever, they feel like that absence is going to make you fonder. It's going to make you be like, okay, well, I forgot about what happened, or I'm over it now, and let's not argue. I just want to be close. And like they're trying to use that. They're very inspired and optimistic. They maybe have even put together a sweetening jar to try to be successful at getting you to make sure that you stay in this thinking energy, trying to be protective over your heart, maybe even trying to be conservative or patient or tentative, but they know what it's really causing. And that's why, ooh, divine masculine, I'm trying to help you because this ain't for me. If you feel like you are authoritative, you have, you know, a lot of discipline or exert discipline, and that you could be a father or make a good father or something like that, you better quit running from whatever this is, because that's what it looks like you're doing. And that's what's making you end up in these hopeless positions. So it's kind of like you play with fire, you're going to get burned. And divine feminines too, because I know there are divine feminines out here that still be whistling while they twerk and be, you know, putting out for people and, you know, getting involved in physical relationships when they really should be isolating themselves. But they feel like, oh, I got to get my mind off of divine masculine or whatever. That's the wrong way to be. Oh yeah, they want this divine masculine to be to feel isolated and rejected too. Again, they want you to be stuck in your head, just sitting thinking, never making a move, just sitting thinking. That's too bad. And what they do is they sit up and they laugh at you every day that they know that you haven't moved towards whatever it is that you want to do. Like I said earlier in the reading, like if there's something that you're supposed to be getting on, even if it's just setting boundaries, whatever. What else? Oop, that was a little too much. Oh, and maybe some people even feel like, Divine Masculine, that you're a narcissist. So they know that you work off of your ego. They feel like you're an opportunist and they feel like you're fragile too. Look at this little egg. They feel like you're a narcissist. So they feel like, yeah, this person is such a narcissist that they're not going to make the move because, whatever. They just feel like you and your ego. They feel like they know exactly what to do to keep you thinking. And that you're going to stay in that energy because you feel like maybe this is a consequence of bad choices or games that you have played or mixed signals, or maybe this is a consequence of any bad choices that you have made or games that you have may have played or mixed signals. But essentially, as long as you let them keep thinking, like, they were never bad choices. That's what some people have to understand. They weren't bad choices. You know what I mean? Because if they helped you to see, they're only bad choices if you continue to live with them. If you continue to make the same type of decision, if you continue to stay stagnant or complacent and not make a change, that is the only time that they are really yours and they are bad choices. They are learning lessons, right? When you actually learn and say, hey, this is a consequence of this, let me go ahead and move. But running from things is not that you cannot escape it, you know. Maybe even for the Divine Feminine, this antisocial energy is what they were using for the Divine Feminine. So to make you feel like you being antisocial and not going out enough, but I feel like they want you to go out so that they can attack you. They want you to go out so that they can make you feel unwanted. So you're not wrong. And I feel like, because you're not running from it, like you're not running from the things that you feel, but you also are very aware too. Oh, that was the other thing. So I feel like somebody tried to get somebody to come towards me the other day, because I went out to go do some event, and at this place called Fantasia Crystals. So I went up there to go do some, like a little fun event that they had going on. And I went by myself. I didn't take my daughter, and I usually take her with me, but I didn't this time because they said you had to be 13 or over to participate. So it was cool. It was fine, whatever. So I didn't take her. But then there was someone there that was just like constant. It was a female too. She was constantly my energy, and like afterwards she sat and hung out and waited for me, and then stood and went everywhere that I went. And then finally I was just like, okay, let me talk to her because she's clearly wanting to connect. And so I did. And I think it was just kind of like one of those setups where it's like, oh, let's put somebody in their energy that likes to do the things that they like, and let's try to make them feel like they're antisocial so that they'll just jump on the first friend that comes along. And I feel like this was a setup for me because how much I love hiking. So it's like, oh yeah, if we can get her on a hiking trail and then the person disappears or goes to the bathroom and then something else happens while this person isn't around. But if you're antisocial, you're not telling people when you meet new friends. So nobody knew you even had this new friend. They just knew you were going somewhere type of energy. So it's like that's this whole setup energy for Divine Feminine. That's the whole thing that maybe they couldn't get around, is because you aren't antisocial. You're just you're intuitive. I don't know why people don't get that. Intuitive means my body is telling me. Like intuition is when your body is telling you, and then your body responds either with words or reactions or something. Again, when I realized more about honing into my intuition, it was like 2 years ago when I was getting my taxes done. And I was looking for a new tax prepper because my person was like taking forever. He was always on vacation or some mess. So I went to a new tax preparation person, but I was looking for them and something came up on my Instagram. Tax prep person. I'm like, oh, okay. So I look at the advertisement or whatever, and I click on the page. And the first thing that came into my mind was, do they have a physical location? Because if they don't have a physical location, like I was already skeptical about it. And that should have told me. Because then the next thing that happened was, like, I feel like I got to the door of the place and it was locked or whatever. And I was like, oh, great, I don't have time for this. It was just a horrible experience. And every step of the way, I kept getting this intuitive nudge not to go forward. And I wasn't following it. And that's what some people end up doing wrong. But it's like, this is that whole, like, I have to follow my intuition. So if I'm feeling like this person is weird, it's because they're weird. Yeah. And then for divine masculine, I feel like they want you to be salty. Um, they want you to be in this salty energy about them going out and partying or something. They want you to miss that life, but it's like, you've had that life, haven't you? I feel like I had that life because, man, I could tell you about some stuff, but I'm not going to. You're not finna judge me. Judge yourself. See, judge yourself. But anyway, so it's not causing any waves. They're not causing any waves for you guys. They're not causing any like salty energy from you towards them. Like they can't get you to act out in the way that they need you to. And they also can't get you to kind of like engage in this like reckless nightlife energy, which is causing them to be crazier and crazier. That's so unfortunate. I really hope they get it together. Like I really, 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 really hope. Ooh. This is interesting. So this, what is it that this gang sees? This gang feels like this person, they feel like this person's whole job is trying to create this conspiracy. Like they are literally amongst themselves talking. They are literally amongst themselves talking right now. Yeah. They saying, basically, it's like somebody's not listening. Somebody's not learning. Because if you're in a narcissistic energy, you're not learning your lessons. Ooh, okay. And they're also saying that whoever this coach energy is here that's in reverse, they're saying it twice. They're like, yeah, don't listen to this person. Don't be involved with this person no more. They're thinking about making some plans for this person. And I don't think they're fun ones. Let's see. Ooh. I need another deck. They're thinking about making some plans for these people, though. They're like, don't listen to them. Don't do nothing they tell you to do. You know. Ooh. Because they know they got them caught up. And then there's some other business where they... Yeah, there's somebody in one group that talks to somebody in another group. And they're finding out about all these different things. Like they see the walls closing in on these people. He said these mother... They see the walls closing in on these mugs. And they don't want to be bothered. Ooh. And, oh, wow. Okay, and so they know something about whoever this father energy that we were talking about earlier. They know something about this father energy's romantic love affair. I feel like that's why maybe somebody is drinking a lot. Ooh, yeah, because it said drunkard and bartender and coach. Or maybe, maybe they're planning something on this father. Maybe someone found, maybe because someone found out about this romantic love affair, they want to put this curse on this father. They're going to be moving in silence to put this curse on this father to get him confused about his new romantic love affair as well. So they're doing this not only to divine masculine, but they're doing this to other people. And that's what the gang figured out because it was affecting somebody in their groups. Like, and I feel like this is like an old school marriage. Like these people been together. They live on this villa and all kinds of stuff, right? And it's affecting there, and they know because they went to a bruja because they could not figure out how this family, this couple had been married for 25 plus years, been running all of these crime organizations, blah, 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 and ain't never had no problems like this. They is chasing down. Look, somebody volunteered some information too when they were drunk. That's what it is. Okay. Oh, wow. Or maybe some father energy got drunk and kind of explained or told about his romantic love affair and about all the stuff had been going on. Ooh. Yeah, because now they're realizing like, okay, all of this, like trying to, like, we can't do this. That's what they're figuring out too. Like all of this, because this is the cultivation in reverse. It's like, we can't harvest from this. We can't get anything from here. It fell right on that wishful thinking. We can't get a second chance. We can't keep this person in this thought process of just stinking thinking and thinking. And so that's why okay, so then they're saying, and that's why they were trying to be so cruel. That's why they were like, okay, let's go in and try to, MDK them. Let's go try to end their life. And these gangs are sitting there talking about it. Oh my gosh. Ooh, and they giving somebody the boot, somebody real, this doctor energy. They're like, yeah, and this mug thought he was some kind of genius or something. They said he's stupider than us. Damn. That's okay. I don't even want to know about that. Yo, because it's like these guys know they're not the brightest people. They know they're not, NASA. You feel me? They know who they are. And they love who they are. They for la raza. But that's the problem. These people just use people. And they don't like that. You don't use they gang for your boo. It's like you have to have a real issue. Like there has to be really something. And to find out that this person was lying about everything, they feel like that's who they need to get. Or maybe this athlete energy, but I feel like this athlete energy is running. Maybe that's the friend Oh, okay. Thank you, Spirit. The friend and this athlete energy are the two people. So it's like the friend is a friend of the gang. So there's probably another cholo or somebody that was involved with the gang or knows the gang, grew up around the gang, still lives by him. I don't know. But that person is a friend to the gang and a friend to this athlete energy that was brought in to do this ruthless, cruel slaughter energy. And they couldn't do it. They could. Yeah, they did. Okay. They went around telling this story. Okay. So that's what they were doing. They were out there telling these reckless, ruthless, cruel stories, getting people to believe. I want to know what this doctor did, even though we already know he in trouble. They in trouble because it was two of them, right? But as long as they kept this going, they could keep everything going, right? As long as they continued to have all of these other groups using all of their resources and everything towards this mission, and as long as nobody caught on to the fact that they were a whole-faced lie, it would be fine. But these cartel members and these other gang members, I hear West Side something, 8th Street, I don't know, maybe they buying something, I don't know. But I heard, yeah, if they could have kept this going, it would have been fine. But finding out, it's what they found out. And I feel like for some people, it's just like they find it out when they get to you to go and do whatever it is that they're telling you to do. And the people are looking at it like, nah, this is somebody that continues to bring hope to the hood. Like this is for La Raza. We can't mess this up. You can. I'm just saying. That's just like asking Toker to go kill Eazy-E. He probably shoot you in your head for even somebody gonna get you. I'm just saying, somebody gonna get you. And that's how they feel about these people, because they feel like they're always partying, because that's a part of their stuff too. Like they have to. One, they do that just to keep their head off of whatever it is that they're, involved in. But then the other reason is to keep them in this mindset or energy of like they can make up for it. Like they're really stuck in their ego. And because they're constantly trying to steal this love energy, and it's like, steal somebody else's happiness. I'm feeling like in this gamer, it's like, man, if we could have that, we would want it too. Ooh, but he said, but there ain't no reason to go after somebody like this, though. That's where they see the problem. Like, I could see if this person did something. That's what they keep saying. Like, I could see if this person, and that's the other thing too. They're saying like, I could see even if this person just gave you an STD, but that didn't happen. Wow. Ooh, this is some heavy energy. This is a heavy chest energy right now. All right, anything else? Yeah, it's like your image can't be tainted because, your purification and your abstinence lies within you, right? So somebody talking about you, saying that you've been out here sleeping around, that could never take away the actual purity that you have. Only thing that takes away from is other people's purity of mind, to let themselves be so influenced, to let themselves be so possessed by such a negative energy, such a negative being, deity, entity, whatever you want to call it. But that's where people messed up the biggest, I feel like. Yeah. Because, I mean, in abstinence, you learn self restraint, right? You gain purification and you establish discipline for yourself. Like, you employ discipline for yourself. And I feel like that's why nobody can get anything over on you, because you're not out here with no shenanigans. You out here in this revolutionary energy and in this waiter energy. So if you wasn't out here being an attendant to other people and helping other people clean up their lives, their emotional state, etc., you were out here helping people fight for freedom and receive justice. Anything else is a crazy person. Clearly. Ooh. And I don't know if that's like a message coming from the creator, or that these people just feel like that's what they created. Ooh, the clown and madman energy. That's a whole different reading. All right, I hope that this has been helpful and insightful in some way, shape, or form. Oh, yeah. They just keep saying the same thing. It's like seeking this self-restraint, this purification, this discipline is helping to forge and melt and shape and like temper whatever this revolutionist is doing. Like whatever this revolutionist is making, it's pulling that together. It's melting it together. It's making sure that it comes together. Again, that's why I said too at the beginning of the reading. Oh, okay, that's nice. And then maybe there's some need for either like, I don't know if it's the divine masculine energy in the reading this time, like it was out here earlier, or if it's for this father energy about like just move on. Don't worry about trying to keep it a secret that you're moving on, is what I'm hearing. Like, don't, and that's just a general message for the collective. Move in silence, yes, but don't be afraid of living your life. Don't be afraid of that at all. You don't have to hide. That's the only thing I've been told to say at this point. I hope that's been helpful, insightful in some way, shape, or form. And I'll catch you on the next one. Later.